take the opportunity. I have never really done this before, is kind of share a little bit about my journey through the direct selling industry and why I have such a passion for what I get to do day in and day out, and for what our industry provides. Especially if you've never had any exposure to this industry. That's how I was a decade ago. Tonight, I hope will be very enlightening for why, maybe you see why I get so excited and passionate about what I do. But also, with that being said, one of the reasons I am so passionate, and I have been so passionate this past year about what I do, is because of who I've gotten to partner with this last year, and the company that I'm with, and the people that I get to be on mission with each and every day. And I want to share more about that. I've never kind of done a personal kind of Zoom or live or anything along those lines where I've shared my heart about what I'm personally involved in and why I believe in it so much personally. It's always been more of a corporate type presentation, and that is not tonight. But I think in order to know why I love this industry so much, and to maybe also know why I'm so passionate about where I am right now, and why I'm so passionate about where I am right now, it's got to take you back to how I got started in this industry, because that's where it all began. I heard a quote one time that the first life that will be changed in this industry is your own, and in the direct selling industry. And that was the case for me. And that's why I'm so excited to talk tonight about it. For those that maybe are not a part of this industry, is my life has radically changed because of the direct selling industry. I am a different person a decade now being in this industry than I was. I know for a fact I'm a better person. I know for a fact I have grown personally. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father because of this industry. Better leader because of this industry. My spiritual walk has grown because of this industry. And that's honestly been the biggest and best blessing this industry could ever have given me, is the relationships and friendships that have been created, but who I've become in the process, and how it's changed my life personally and professionally and spiritually and relationally, in every aspect. So let me take you back to how I got started here. And that'll talk about this industry and why I'm so passionate about it. And it will lead to you maybe get to hear a little bit about my heart, about why I'm so excited for where I am right now. So, a little over a decade ago, let's take it actually about 11 or 12 years ago, I had just graduated college, and I got my undergrad degree in finance. And I was very passionate, and I thought very sure that I wanted to go into the finance and accounting profession. And so as I graduated my undergrad degree in finance, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I went to school in North Carolina, moved to Dallas, Texas. My family's from Arkansas, and I planned to be in Dallas, Texas for 1 year. And that was to get my my master's in accounting, so I could sit for the CPA exam and become a certified public accountant, go work for a public accounting firm, do public accounting in the public realm, get a ton of experience, looking at the books of tons of businesses, and then take that and go into the private sector, as maybe one day, hopefully, a chief financial officer. That was kind of where I was headed. And just FYI, I had never heard about the direct selling industry, at the age of 22 or 23 years old. Never once heard about it, never knew anyone that was a part of it. It was the most foreign thing to me. So as I moved to Dallas, Texas, and I'm in my graduate program getting my master's in accounting, I happened to build an incredible relationship. Well, I built a great relationship up with a lot of alumni at the university that I was at, and a lot of corporate financial professionals. But I happened to build this one really great professional relationship with a lady named Sapari. And she was the chief financial officer at a company based here in Plano, Texas. Heck, I'll even tell you the name. There's a company called Advocare based in Texas. And she said, "Hey, Stephen, I know you're about to graduate, and I know your plans to go in public accounting, but I would love for you to come take a look at the company that I'm a part of. I think you'd fit the culture. I think you'd believe in what we're doing. And I think it's something that you could get really passionate about. Just come take a look and see if what we do would be of any interest for you." And she said, "Hey, this FYI, this is not going to be an accounting or finance position. It's totally going to be a pilot program where you're going to get to work in a lot of different areas of our business. And ideally, you will get to work and support our distributors out in the field in a variety of ways. Just come take a look and see if it's for you or not. And I honestly said yes to come take a look at the company as a favor to her because I really respected her. I was literally a few weeks away from signing a contract and even like a month away from moving back to Arkansas. But I went in to this company and and my life changed forever. I went in for an interview and ended up being there all day. And I got to meet a man by the name of Mike Wade. And he's just probably one of the most incredible, remarkable men you would ever meet in your entire life. When I say that, I mean that professionally in the corporate environment. I say that personally, spiritually. He is, to this day, one of my absolute best friends and has been a mentor to me my entire career and life, both professionally and spiritually. And he's absolutely incredible. And he was the very first person I met in this industry. And he spent 2 or 3 hours talking about what this industry allows for people and what this industry does. And he was talking story after story about how people's lives had been changed because this industry, the direct selling industry, gave them an opportunity to earn extra income and how that was allowing people to be able to pay off debt and become debt free, that they never thought they would ever become debt free. It was allowing people to put time back in their life with their kids and their spouse. It was allowing people to have time to be able, or allowing people to have the extra money to be able to do things for their family they never thought they were going to be able to do. And you're right. And what I loved is he was saying this was mostly teachers and coaches and firefighters and police officers and men and women in the ministry and the military and just, really hardworking, great people that just needed an opportunity to earn some extra money because they needed to be able to pay off debt. They needed to be able to say yes to things in life. They needed to be able to have more choices and freedoms than they already had. And that's what this industry gave them. And he shared story after story with me for about 2 hours and talked about, what the company stood for. And long story short, I'll never forget that day that, him saying that, we're on a mission. We're on a mission to absolutely change people's lives all across this country in the United States and allow people to get out of debt and have freedom. And long story short, I remember driving down Highway 75 in Dallas, Texas that day, going, if they offer me something, I'm doing this. Just because I heard the stories, I saw his passion, and I immediately saw there was something bigger here than just a career or job. This was so much bigger than just finance or accounting. Like what was happening at this company and in this industry was lives were being changed. And that was my day one of being in direct sales. And that started a journey now that I've been in this industry for 11 plus years. I had the opportunity to spend about 8 years with that company. And it was an incredible, remarkable journey and run. I got started there in 2011 and was a part of that company and that team till 2019, and it was remarkable. I know when I joined that company back in 2011, it was a U.S. only based company, so there was no operations outside of the United States of America. It only operated in one market around the world, and it was about a $100 to $150 million size business, which is incredible at that size. I mean, that's a very large organization. And I was able to see that company go on and be a part of just an incredible team, an incredible group that saw that organization grow from 100 to 150 million over the next, 5 to 6 years, grow to 950 million in sales in the United States. But that's not what's impressive to me about what happened there. It was about the number of lives that were changed. And I knew from that moment forward that I would never not want to be a part of this industry and what we did. So that's all the good things. And that were taking place. And if you, honestly speaking, right now in 2023, if you would have asked me in 2015, 2016, 2017, hey, Stephen, what will you be doing in 20, 30, or 40 years from now? the only thing I can tell you tonight, because you're my friends that are on in all transparency, is the only thing I can tell you is hey, I'll be with Advocare and we'll be the largest direct selling company in the world. I mean, that was what I saw. That's just what was in my heart in those years in 2015, 2016, 2017. That's what you would have said. I would have said, hey, I'll be here the rest of my life. I will spend the rest of my life with this company. And I want to help make it the largest direct selling company in the world. Like, we will march all over the globe, putting our footprint all over it and becoming the largest company in the world with the greatest impact in this industry has ever seen. That's what I thought. And the Lord obviously always has different plans. And in 2019, it was probably one of, if not the absolute hardest years of my life, personally and professionally. A lot happened that year, but in 2019, that organization had to make an incredibly challenging and difficult decision and the reason I don't talk about it much is because the decision that company made, it impacted my life, but not nearly did it impact my life like it impacted thousands of my friends' lives like I've never seen. And in May of 2019, that company decided to really no longer be in the multi-level direct selling space any longer, which means that company had been around for, at that point, 25 plus years, which means that I can't tell you how many thousands of friends I had who poured their life into building a business there that had changed their life financially and their family's life financially. And in a matter of one day, and in the matter of the course of the next 2 months, their businesses were gone. The company was going to remain around, and the company was going to cease, or the company was going to continue to exist. But the businesses of all of the independent distributors, for the most part, 99% of their businesses were going to be just, cut at the knees. It was the absolute worst day of my career, one of the worst days of my life, seeing that happen to so many dear friends. And long story short, there, if you're on, and by the way, if you were a part of that organization and you're on here tonight, I want you to know that you did nothing wrong. Like, you did nothing wrong. It was a case of one of the most unfortunate circumstances that there could have ever been. And if you're on, like, you did nothing wrong. And I also want you to know, like, I am so proud for what you did and what we did there. We had a saying that, we build champions. And I'll tell you this, I thought a lot about this over the years. People can take away titles, people can take away positions, people can take away ranks, people can take away businesses and income. But what people can never take away from what you've done is who you became when you were there, who you became in the process of building that business. And second, no one can take away the impact on the lives that you changed. So long story short, that happened in the first half of 2019. I was only a part of that organization for a few months longer, as my heart is in traditional direct selling, multi-direct selling, where people can build businesses that financially change their life. And so I started to move on. And I moved on and to in the next few years, 2 or 3 years, to a couple of different companies. And to this day, I still have some of the most dear friends in the world at those companies. And what I can say about being there was honestly that it just wasn't for me. That doesn't mean it wasn't for, that's kind of like a restaurant, right? Like, certain restaurants aren't for everybody. Some people like certain restaurants, some people don't. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't bad by any means. It wasn't bad for me, and it wasn't bad. It just wasn't for me. And I'll tell you how I can explain that here in just a moment. But it just wasn't for me. I hadn't found my fit. I didn't feel like I was home, and I didn't have that internal belief and passion like I had in the years prior. And so I spent about 3 or 4 years kind of hopping to a couple different companies and a couple of different places. And I'll say, if anything, I learned a ton in those two environments. But again, I just knew that they weren't for me long term. And I can tell you here in a moment about, kind of how I realized that. But fortunately for me, in the fall of 2021, I got a call from a dear friend in this industry that I've just known in this industry for many, many years, as she works with a lot of different companies in a lot of different capacities in the direct selling industry. And she said, "Hey, Stephen, I know you've only been where you have been at this company for about a year. And so I usually don't call to say that there's an opportunity available." And she didn't even know that I was looking, but I was wanting a change, because I knew, like, I was about to stop this industry for good, because I just kind of thought, you know what? I had seen the mountaintop moment that this industry had. Like, I had been at the peak, the climax, the pinnacle of what this industry could offer. And I thought to myself in this moment, I'll never see that again. Like that, my best days of my career are behind me. They were when I was in my 20s, and maybe early 30s. But I'll never see that again. And I was so close to quitting the industry, but the Lord works in mysterious ways, and the Lord works. And fortunately, this lady gave me a call and said, "Hey, Stephen, it's the fall of 2021. Hey, Stephen, I have an opportunity that I truly believe you need to look at. Like, I typically wouldn't call you because you haven't been where you've been very long, but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity." She goes, "I've known about this company for over 40 years. I've known about this company." She goes, "Stephen, this company has the most remarkable reputation and integrity this industry has ever seen." She goes, it is one of my dear favorite companies that I get to work with and that I have worked with." She said, "You'd be crazy not to look at it." And I said, "Well, absolutely. What is it?" And she said, "NeoLife." And I said, "What's that?" Like, I'd never heard of that in my entire life. And what's crazy about it is, we're going to dive in to NeoLife, is this company's been around for 65 years. I'd been in the industry now at this point about a decade, and I'd never heard the name NeoLife. I didn't know what it was about, or anything along those lines. But she said, "Stephen, trust me, you've got to look at this company." And so I said, "Okay, I'll do it." And I look back now, and I told myself I was not going to make a judgment or an assessment about anything I was doing until I gave it at least 1 year. And the reason I wanted to do this Zoom tonight is because I've just hit 1 year. And so I didn't want to come on and share my heart if it was kind of the honeymoon moment. Because in the beginning, everything can seem great and perfect. But when you've been somewhere at least a year, you're past the honeymoon phase, and you can have a real reality. You can have a real look at what this company or what it really is about. So that's why I waited to do this till just now. And that day changed my life forever. This lady introduced me to the current CEO at NeoLife, Kendra Brassfield. She is the daughter of Jerry Brassfield, the gentleman who founded NeoLife. And I got a chance to meet her, and I was absolutely blown away by who she was and what she was about. And so with that being said, I want to just dive in and tell you now, like, what I've experienced the last year being a part of NeoLife, and why I'm so passionate about this, and why I love it so much. And I go there, and I'm going to start with Jerry and Kendra Brassfield. So I heard one time that the most important aspect of a direct selling company is who is the owner and the leader, the CEO of that company. Because at the end of the day, you can never escape the owners and the leaders, the CEOs, especially if it's the owner and the CEO are one and the same. The owner and the CEO, or the CEO is also the owner. You cannot escape it. I heard it said that their motives, their heart, their integrity, their vision, what they stand for, and what their mission is, like that, at the end of the day, you cannot escape that. Like, that will dictate everything that happens long term because they own the business. And I'll tell you right now, after a year plus getting to know and work alongside Kendra and Jerry Brassford, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I have never, ever, ever, ever met or worked alongside owners or a CEO in the caliber and the character and the integrity and the humility and the wisdom of Jerry and Kendra Brassfield. And I'll dive into that more in just a moment. They are the most remarkable family I've had a chance to get to work alongside. Like who they are as people, they are godly. They are as humble as you can imagine. They are generous. They are caring. And they love NeoLife, the company. They loved it like it's not even a company to them. It's a part of who they are and a fabric of their being because of what this company means to the Brassfield family. And so I had the opportunity to meet Jerry Brassfield, our founder, the very first time I flew to California, where we're located and based in San Jose, California, or Santa Clara, which is Silicon Valley, is where our headquarters are. And I had a chance to get to meet Jerry Brassfield. And I asked Jerry, I mean, this is a gentleman that is, he's an incredibly, that's an understatement to say, successful businessman, beyond direct selling, just an incredibly successful businessman, to the scales I've never seen or known anybody personally, to the level of success that this man has had in the world of business and entrepreneurship and everything along those lines. And the cool thing is you would never know that. I would never know that getting to meet with him and getting to build a relationship with him, because he's one of the most humble men you'll ever meet in your life. But I had dinner with him my first week joining NeoLife. And again, I wanted to ask Jerry some questions because, you know, I needed to know what I was going to be a part of. And so I asked Jerry this question. I said, Jerry, tell me, why are you, you know, in your 70s, with all these other businesses that you may have and, you know, all the success that you've had in your career, like, why are you still actively a part of NeoLife as our chairman? And why is it that I've heard that this is the only company to this day that you have any direct involvement with? And he said, Stephen, it's because this industry, direct selling, is what changed my life and my family's life 60 plus years ago. He goes, everything I have, I owe one to the Lord, but to this industry. And he said, NeoLife is not another business to me. He said, NeoLife is, it's our baby. Like, this means more than a business. Like, this is the foundation of everything we've ever built and created. It all came from NeoLife. Like, I am who I am today because of this industry and because of this. Like, that's why I'm involved in this. This is not another business for me. If I have another business, I can have someone run that. Like, I don't need to be a part of it. Like, I'm a part of this because my heart is in it and I owe it to this. And so I was so blown away by that. And because I learned then that we had an owner that his heart was in the business. We didn't have an owner that was removed. We had an owner that's heart was in this business at the core. And then I said, well, tell me, Mr. Brassfield, like, what is your vision for this company now? I mean, we are 65, asked me, you know, we're approaching 65 years of being in business. The company's had a tremendous amount of success. We're in over 50 countries around the world, like fully operational in 50 countries around the world. And many of our biggest markets to this day are not even it's not the United States. It's around the world. I was like, so like, what is like your goal for NeoLife? And like, what do you want to see happen over the next 10 years? And if you know Jerry, he's hilarious. And he said, well, one, I just want to be here 10 years from now. That's kind of a big goal for me at my age. And so, but he said, second, he said, at this stage in my life, I want to see NeoLife be a vehicle to reach people for Christ. Like that's really the heart of the mission that I have. And so to me, that was to have an owner that was also like front and center, that like this was about reaching people for Christ, was special. And so I'll tell you here in a moment something that came to me that I found out that led me to know that that was not just talk. That is how we do business at NeoLife. And so with that being said, then that leads me into Kendra Brasfield, our CEO. She's a 33-year-old CEO, and I've had the opportunity to get to work with a lot of CEOs in this industry. Probably at least 8 different CEOs, maybe a dozen. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, with all transparency, Kendra Brasfield is the single finest, the single best CEO I have ever worked alongside in this industry, period. I have never been more impressed with a CEO that I've had a chance to work alongside than I've been impressed with Kendra Brasfield, and on a few different regards. I could not be more. And I've had the chance to get to work alongside CEOs that are in the Direct Selling Association Hall of Fame and others, and they, to me, don't hold a candle to, I shouldn't say that because that's disrespectful. Sorry. They're great as well. But Kendra, I've never had a chance to work alongside someone that of her character and integrity. I've never worked with someone at her age who is so dynamic, but also is so wise, is so humble, is so prudent in the way that she makes decisions, is so thoughtful, caring about the company and about the people inside the company, but also someone who has such incredible insight and wisdom for the future. Like what she wanted to do, just so you know her story, because it gets to the heart of why I'm passionate about NeoLife. Kendra, the daughter of Jerry Brasfield, the Brasfield family has had the opportunity to get to know Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett really, really well through different business things. So Kendra grew up basically, going to Berkshire Hathaway meetings, the annual meetings, and grew up knowing Charlie Munger and like on a first name basis and all those kinds of things. And her goal one day was she wanted to create and become the female version of Warren Buffett and start her own Berkshire Hathaway that then became, and she was the kind of the female version of Warren Buffett. That was her whole career goal all the way. And as she was going through college and as she was approaching the end of college, actually, Jerry took Kendra on a tour around the world to all of NeoLife's annual conventions. And what happened is for the very first time as a college student, Kendra was exposed to the NeoLife community around the world. She was in Africa and in different places in Europe and everywhere, South Pacific and all of this, and to all these different, major annual conventions. And she saw what NeoLife was doing around the world and the impact that it was having and so on and so forth. And so on that trip home, Kendra, from what I've heard, talks to Jerry, her dad, and says, "Hey, I want to be a part of NeoLife. Like, I thought this is what I wanted to do with my life. After seeing what NeoLife is doing around the world and the impact it's having in people's lives and what it and the mission it's on, this is what I want to do now with my life." And I love what Jerry said. He said, "Okay." He said, "But you can't come work for NeoLife. Like, I'm not letting you come work. This is my pride and joy, this company. You're not just coming into it. Go build a world team business." And for those that are not a part of NeoLife, it's a very significant rank. He says, if you go out in the field, and he goes, "I'm not giving you one thing. Like, you go out in the field and you build a business of the world team, you can come work for free, by the way, in the corporate office. And you can work your way up in the corporate office just like anyone and everyone else has. But first, you got to know what it's like to be a distributor. And you got to not just know what it's like, you got to go in there and see the highs and the lows, and you got to get the distributor in your heart. You got to be a distributor in your heart, because that's the heart and soul of NeoLife." So Kendra went out, built a world team sized business, came inside, and long story short, was a rock star from day one, worked her way up through the marketing and to becoming the chief marketing officer, and then handed the reins to Kendra as the CEO of this company, which I think was probably one of the best decisions Jerry ever made, was bringing Kendra in as the CEO of this company. And she's been running this company ever since. I will tell you this, I wanted to start there, that our ownership and our CEO at NeoLife, I've never seen it like it. And it's the number one reason I am so passionate about what we do, and so excited for the future. And one thing I also love about the Braswell family is they run this business with such wisdom. It is unbelievable the infrastructure they have created. They do like this thing. There's a reason this thing's been around for 65 years. It's because they have created the most well-oiled running machine I've ever seen in this industry from a corporate perspective around the globe. But not only that, not only are they as wise as can be with how they run this, they are not afraid to invest heavily into NeoLife and into this company to grow it into the future. And just so you know, I want to share a little about their vision for where NeoLife is going. We've got a couple of visions and missions ahead of us over the next decade. As far as our records can go back, we have paid out, and this is just in the record the computers can, obviously there's 65 years of history. Not all of it is, together, but from what we can calculate, digitally, that NeoLife has paid out over $3 billion of commissions to distributors. I'm gonna say it again. NeoLife has paid out over $3 billion of commissions to distributors in its history that we can, and in the history that we can account for. And Kendra's absolute mission and vision for this company is that from now and over the next 10 years, so from 2023 to 2033, our goal is to pay out over $3 billion in commissions to distributors over the next 10 years. That's her mission. It's not about, it's not about how much money they're going to make or the company's going to make and all this. Her goal literally is directly tied to how much money can she put into the pockets of distributors around the world. And we want to pay out over $3 billion of commissions to distributors around the world in just the next 10 years, which also gets me into, one of our missions over the next 10 years is we are dead set on becoming one of the top 10 largest direct selling companies in the world in the next 10 years. That's the mission we're on. And we're going to invest in that. And we're building toward that. We're going to be the top 10 company in direct selling around the world within the next 10 years. And I truly do believe we're absolutely going to make that happen. Why? We've got the infrastructure. We are a well-oiled machine from start to finish. We've got the products that I'll talk about in a second. We've got the ownership. We've got the leadership. We've got the business in 50 plus markets set up and ready to run. Like NeoLife is the most teed up business I've ever been a part of in my whole life. And I'm getting ahead of myself. So long story short, like that's the mission for the company. And speaking of paying $3 billion in commissions, I absolutely do believe it's going to pay because I believe we have the best designed compensation plan the industry has, which is a stair-step breakaway plan. I've worked with a stair-step breakaway plan once before. That was the company that I was with that went from 100 million to 900 million. That company was a stair-step breakaway plan. I've never seen people be able to build such lucrative businesses, such long-lasting, strong businesses with a comp plan like that. That is a stair-step breakaway. I've been with 10-level, uni-level plans, binary plans. Nothing can hold a candle, in my opinion. It's an all opinion, my opinion, to a stair-step breakaway plan because it is the only plan in the industry where you literally can earn off of your entire business volume, both wide and deep. You cannot do that in any other plan except for a stair-step breakaway plan. It's the only plan that gives you an ability to earn a commission literally on every single product in your entire business. All other plans, you either get, you don't get paid out on all the volume. And so I think our comp plan is incredible. And it's actually even better than where I was with the other stair breakaway plan for many reasons. I could take you through the X's and O's of why this is the best designed stair-step breakaway plan that I've ever seen. I think it's why we've been around for 65 years. And I think it's, why we have the type of income earners around the world that we do. So the comp plan is there. The products, like the products are incredible. Here's what I can say. Every company's going to say their products are incredible. Every company's going to say they've got the best products in the world. Every company's going to say there's no other products as good as ours. So like, I'm not going to say that because everybody's going to say that. All I can say is like all I can say is I can go beyond. I want to go beyond my opinion about our products. Here's what I've seen at NeoLife. I have never ever worked with a company that owned its own manufacturing and had a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing. I've never seen that. Everywhere else I've ever been in the industry, they use third-party manufacturers, and those manufacturers then were the ones who worked with the raw ingredient suppliers. So the company really wasn't even picking out their raw ingredients to most of the time. It was the manufacturers who pick out the raw ingredients, and as long as the company gives them some parameters to whatever. I've never seen a company that owns their own manufacturing facilities in this industry. So that's a first for me at NeoLife. Second is this: I've never been a part of a company that created a technology for full traceability of its ingredients of its products. There's a 10-step process that NeoLife created that literally 10 steps that traces the ingredients from the farm those ingredients are raised on to the product that goes into our customers' bodies. I've never seen full traceability like this my entire life. The third thing I've never seen from a product perspective is I've never seen clinically proven products. Everywhere else that I've used product-wise, I couldn't say this product right here was put in a clinical study and tested by researchers and is clinically proven to do XYZ. Like I could never do that. But at NeoLife, like we go that step. Like I can talk about the clinical studies the company has put into to validate what the products can do, so that like we don't have to just say like, here's what we think they can do, or here's what they can do. Like, no, like we spent the money doing human clinical studies to prove that what this product can do is absolutely legitimate. I've never seen a company do clinical studies, and I've never seen a company do the amount of clinical studies that I've seen at NeoLife. So the fourth thing with our products that is absolutely incredible. One is owning our own manufacturing, unbelievable. Our 10-step traceability process, where we get to literally trace our ingredients from farm all the way to table. Our clinical studies is incredible, but also our global supply chain reach is unbelievable. Like we have global supply chain arms all over the world that give us access to ingredients and raw materials and things that most companies don't have access to. It's so cool. And then also we have an unbelievable scientific advisory board. But here's the one thing I can say. I've been a part of a couple different organizations. I've been a part of organizations before outside of NeoLife that had a scientific advisory board. I've also been a part of companies that did not have a scientific advisory board. And I'll tell you this, I just personally love the fact, and I love knowing that doctors and scientists create our products. I've been with companies where it wasn't doctors or scientists. It wasn't even people who had backgrounds in health and wellness that were the key product people. And not saying that those individuals aren't, educated in that, but like, it's nice knowing that someone has dedicated their entire life and career to the science and creation and formulation of products, and knowing they're the ones putting this together. But here's what I'll say. Here's the difference between the SAB that I know at NeoLife versus the SAB that I've seen prior. This SAB is actually the ones who like create and formulate the product. Like they're the ones that actually put all the ingredients together. Like the products, the ingredients, the combination of ingredients, how the ingredients are found, and how we source those ingredients. Like everything is done by an SAB member. Like it's an SAB member does that. Like our scientific advisory board does all of that, not like an internal team that is not part of the SAB. That's what I've seen prior, So like our SAB is so heavily involved in what we do. It's incredible. So our products, like I think they're amazing for all those reasons I just mentioned. On top of it, let me just give you some like little things that matter to me. They taste great. And we have products for everything. Like everything. We have products like I can't tell you how many products I use around our home. We have cleaners that are absolutely incredible. The cleaners that we have to clean your home with. Laundry detergent. Like we use the laundry detergent like crazy, even though it lasts forever because it's so cost effective. But we love our home care products. They're amazing. Also, we have one of the very first organic skincare lines. And on top of that, our organic skincare line is also clinically proven. Like where else? I don't know any other organic, clinically proven skincare line that actually has like dermatologists that are heavily involved in it. And then you obviously have the litany of nutritional supplements that we have. So like from a product perspective, we are teed up, ready to go to that next level. And then let me get to this. Maybe probably the most important thing that I've learned at NeoLife over the last year is culture and community matter. Because that's what changed my life in this industry. I'll be honest. Like a comp plan didn't change my life. And honestly, a comp plan didn't change all my friends' lives. I'll be honest, most of my friends in this industry, it wasn't a product that changed their life. And it wasn't a product that changed my life. What changed my life and what has changed most of my friends' lives is the culture they got infused into. And I've been a part of a culture before that was infused with a focus and a mission on we want to help you grow personally. I mean, we want you to grow personally. We want you to grow spiritually. And it was unbelievable. And that is the culture in the community that I have seen at NeoLife. A culture, it's a transformative community that is all about igniting growth in one another's lives. And what I love about our NeoLife community is like it is a group of some of the most caring, godly, like loyal people that you'll ever meet in your entire life. Like my life is so much better. Like, and it's the number one reason my life is so much better at NeoLife is honestly not because of NeoLife. It's because of all the independent distributors in the US and Canada that I've gotten to meet and how caring they are, how big their heart is to help people. Like I don't know if I've ever seen a group so committed and passionate to helping people and so loyal. I mean, we have so many promoters that have been doing NeoLife for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years that have been doing NeoLife and are still doing it because 40 years later, they still believe in this thing like they did day one. We used to talk about this at a former company that one day you could will this business to your kids. We're living that out in NeoLife, literally living that out. We have second and third generations that have multi-million-dollar businesses that the second and third generations, their parents who built the business maybe have passed, are running that business now. Like we are living where we see businesses being passed down to the second and even the third generations, because that's how strong NeoLife is. So like one thing I cannot talk enough about is the culture and the community that like you will be a part of in the NeoLife family. It is absolutely remarkable. And I will tell you this, if you're a friend of mine, and like if you're on here, whether you've never been in this industry, you've been in it, like if you're a friend of mine, and if you have ever thought we gelled, like if you like, you know what, Steven and I we gel. Like we think the same way, like we're about the same things in life. Like, yeah, like this is your place. This is your home. And I'll tell you something that was said to me one time that was the most incredible and remarkable like statement was by a friend named Jamie Summers. I got to know Jamie Summers in the very beginning of my career. She was a successful leader in another company that we were with together. And when I got the opportunity to take a look at NeoLife, I don't even know how I knew that she was a part of NeoLife, but I thought about it. I was like, actually, maybe I have heard of NeoLife. I know one person in the world that's a part of NeoLife, and it was Jamie. And so I said, before I say yes to this, I am going to call Jamie Summers and try to get the down low on this. And Jamie said something that really probably has changed my life now forever. I said, Jamie, tell me, I got to know, like, I'm not jumping around to another company. Like, this will be my fourth company in the industry. Like, I am not doing this. Like, I can go do finance and accounting, but like, I don't want to just keep going to company. Like, it just not. And she said, Steven, let me tell you what happened to me. She goes, I was just hoping to find a place in this industry that meant as much to me or was as good as where we came from. That's the bar I'd set. Like if I could find something in this industry that was just as good, it doesn't even have to be better than where we were, Stephen. That if it could just meet that bar, could just be just as good, then like I'll never ask for anything more in this industry. And she said, Stephen, I can't believe I'm about to tell you this, but not only have I found something that is just as good as where we were, I actually think it's better. And she goes, I can't believe I'm saying that because you know how great we both thought where we were was. She goes, I think it's actually better. And I, for whatever reason, like that sunk into my heart as like, I believe her. And I can tell you now, looking back 1 year now, that if you would have asked me in 2020, in 2021, in 2021, yeah. If you would have asked me in 2019, in 2020 or 2021, if Stephen, if someone could snap their fingers and you could go back to 2015 or 2016 and everything like it was, would you want to go back? And I'd say absolutely. I'd want to go back because I haven't found anything like that. And 2022 at NeoLife is the first time I've ever thought since that day I wouldn't want to go back. I wouldn't want to go back because just like Jamie, I cannot believe that I'm saying this or thinking this, that like what we had was incredible and where I was incredible. But with everything NeoLife has, like it hits that bar, if not even more so in so many areas. Like I could not be more passionate about what I'm doing. I have not had the feeling that I was a part of an organization that could go on to be the largest direct selling company in the world since, many, many years ago. I actually do believe at NeoLife, we have an opportunity at NeoLife to be the largest direct selling company in the world one day and make that kind of impact because I believe this company has everything in play. It's got the owners, it's got the CEO, it's got the legacy, it's got the global reach, it's got the products, the manufacturing, the compensation plan, and the company's willing to invest like crazy. We just brought on a brand new world-class VP of digital to just to improve our digital component of our business. We just brought on a brand new VP of basically IP. And there's so many things the company's investing in from a technology perspective that I don't want to speak too soon, but we are going to be absolutely on the forefront of technology in this industry. And I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver because I've been there. I've also been places where the MO was to overpromise everything and underdeliver on it every time. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to overpromise and say that like this is the perfect company and there's nothing wrong with NeoLife and it's utopia over here. That's not the case. Utopia doesn't exist in the business world. There's only one place, and my mentor Mike taught me that is utopia, and that's in heaven. But I will tell you this, NeoLife's incredible, and it's only going to get better with the investment that it's making. So I say all this to share, like, if you're a friend of mine and you didn't know like why I'm so passionate about what I do, I hope this gave you a glimpse of why I'm so passionate. Like, I get to be a part of an industry that changes people's lives financially. Can't tell you how many people in NeoLife I've gotten to meet that are debt-free because of NeoLife, or have been able to come home and be with their kids or replace an income. I can't tell you how many people I've met in NeoLife that are second generation, that literally their parents willed them a NeoLife business and their life looks totally different because of this business their parents created for them. I can't tell you how many people's lives that I've gotten to meet who's the results they've had on product. And I didn't even talk about that. Like, one thing that's blowing me away at NeoLife is the unbelievable amount of people getting results on the products. Like the before and after photos just keep coming and coming and people getting results like crazy. That doesn't happen everywhere. Like you don't just see people getting crazy results on products like they do at NeoLife. But like, so if you're here, like it's unbelievable. But if you're a friend of mine, like throughout any of the industry like this, like I wanted to do this to tell you, like, I'm going to keep posting about NeoLife all the time, like, and publicly because it's in me now. Like it's in me. And I haven't had something in me like this for many, many years, but this is in me. And I got a core belief that we will be a top 10 company in the direct selling industry in the next 10 years. I've got a core belief we are going to pay out more than $3 billion of commissions to our field over the next 10 years. Like I gotta believe that like there is not an owner or like in this industry, like our owner, the Brasfield family. There's not a CEO in this industry like Kendra. Like, and there's, I mean, I could go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just. I could go all night. I gotta stop. I gotta land the plane. I get so passionate. It's because if you know me, like belief is one of my top strengths, and I cannot tell you from the bottom. Like I cannot believe more in what I'm a part of. And here's what I miss. Like, or not what I miss. Sorry, that's not like. Here's what I want. Like, there's so many people I know that they just need the environment that NeoLife has. They just need this culture. They just need this infrastructure. They just need to be a part of NeoLife, and they will reignite. They will reinvigorate in their life personal growth like they once had. They will reinvigorate in life a vision and a belief like they once had. Like I believe there's people that need to be a part of NeoLife, and they will reimagine a legacy and a future like they once had. Like I just believe that like NeoLife could not be more perfectly positioned for so many people who are ready to grow personally or go build a life-changing business, a legacy business that we talk about all the time. We used to talk about all the time, that we talk about again at NeoLife because we're living it out. We're creating legacy type businesses. And so I'm just so passionate and so fired up about this. And I just want to see more and more people join this incredible organization. It's just worth it. So with that being said, hey, thanks you all so much for joining on. Like I see friends on here from like from prior lives. I see friends on here that I know are not even in this industry, have never been in this industry. Like we know each other from other things. They're like, Steven, I had never heard you talk about your work before. And then I know I've got a lot of friends on here from NeoLife. And I just want to thank all my NeoLife family. Like you have welcomed us into this family, myself and Ashley Peebles, from day one, like family. And I could not thank you enough. You changed my life. Like you changed my family's life. Like Pam says to me, she's like, I haven't seen you like this in years. Like, she's like, I'm used to like, she goes, I got used to it for a few years of like, just the glass is half empty, Steven. She's like, I haven't seen the glass half full, Steven, like this in years. She's like, I haven't seen you so fired up. Like you used to not want to do calls at night. You're like, oh, I gotta do a call at night. And now you're like, I gotta go do a call tonight. Like, so thank you all, the NeoLife family, for welcoming me. And you guys are absolutely incredible. And hopefully just sharing my heart. If you are part of NeoLife, you get to know more about why I'm so passionate about this. It's because like when you have something great and you lose it and you never think you're gonna have it again and you find something even greater, your appreciation for that is through the roof. Like your appreciation for what you have because you had something great and you lost it, and now you found something greater. Your appreciation is through the roof. Your gratitude is through the roof. And that's where I am. And then for those that, you know, are just friends through other life, man, I hope you'd look at what we're doing. Not because of me and not for me, but for yourself. So with that, hey, have a great evening, everyone. And love you all, because I can truly say everyone on here is friends. So love you guys, and have a great night.